thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. Good morning students, this is Harvinder Kaur, your English teacher. Welcome to the English class. Hope you all are fit and fine at your homes. Today I am going to teach you the next poem of your syllabus, that is Scratching the Tiger's Back. It is a beautiful poem by K.K.N. Daruwala. So first let me give you a brief introduction about the poet. K.K.N. Daruwala, he was born in 1937. He is an Indian Parsi poet and a short story writer in English language. He was awarded Sahitya Akademi Award in 1984 for his poetry collection The Keeper of the Dead. The main beauty and one main characteristic of his poetry is the concern for nature. As you can see that the title of the poem, that tiger scratching the tiger's back, here also he has shown his concern for the wild animals and wildlife. Now let me give a brief summary of the poem also. Let us have an idea. In this poem, the poet says that it is very unfortunate that we all have a misconception about the nature of tiger, that it is very violent animal or a dangerous animal. But the poet says that it is not always the same. When the tiger is well fed and his stomach is full, he will not attack you. And the poet has drawn one similarity also between the human beings and tiger, that we all have the bad and good stuff, the evil and good stuff between us. So now let us move to the explanation of the poem. Children, I would like to ask one question from you, that can you ever imagine to scratch a tiger's back? No. Why? Because we all know that tiger is a very dangerous animal. We cannot dare to touch him. Okay. Now let me start the explanation of the poem. First I will read some lines for you. Regrettably, the tiger is known for fierce attack. The first word, the very first word poet has used, regrettably. That means unfortunately. See the meanings I have written with the red pen here. Poet says it is very unfortunate that we all know tiger for its dangerous nature, for its violent attack and for its ferocious nature. But the poet says that the tiger is not violent all the times. But there are days when the tiger says, "Come here and scratch my back." Poet says there are many times when the tiger invites the people. He wants that people come near to him and give him a soothing touch. Scratch here means to touch him or give him love. That means at that time the tiger is not a dangerous animal. His moods vary with meals. That means changes, and meals means foods. So the poet says that his mood depends on the food he takes. When he has taken his food well, he will not attack anyone. At times tiger is not charged with electricity. The poet again says that there are many times when the tiger is not charged with, that means full of energy. Because when his stomach is full, he has taken his food well. So now he wants to lie down comfortably. He wants to have rest. So at that time he becomes lazy. His blood isn't that hot. Hot, that means angry. So at that time he is not in the mood of anger, in the mood of attacking someone. He feels so lazy that he lazes, stays put, doesn't go places. He feels lazy that he lazes. Lazes means he wants to lie down idle at one place only. Stays put, that means he wants to remain at one place comfortably and he doesn't want to roam around here and there in search of food. His stripes don't blaze, his skin doesn't glow. So blaze and glow both have the same meaning, that means shines. At that time, because the tiger is not full of energy, his body looks dull. And the afternoon and the winter sun turn slow. Now in the very last line of the stanza, the poet has used a figure of speech personification that I'll explain later on. The poet says here, describes about the winter season. He says that in the winter season, in the afternoon when the sun it is turning slow, that means it shines very less. We all know that in the winter season, during the winter season, the sun doesn't shine brightly. So that mild sunlight the tiger wants to enjoy by sitting at one place comfortably. Got it? Now let me summarize the meaning of the stanza once again for you. The poet says that we have a misconception about the nature of the tiger, but we should. The poet condemns the fact by saying that there are many times when the tiger is not in the mood to attack on someone. And when are those days? Those days are when the tiger's stomach is full, when he has taken good food. At that time, he wants to lie down comfortably. He will not attack on someone. At that time, he will not go here to there. He will sit only at one place. And at that time, his body is also not full of energy. His body, the stripes, they also don't shine because he is feeling lazy now. He feels idle now. So, I hope I have made it clear. Read the stanza once again. I will explain the figure of speech used in the poem. Figure of speech is that form of speech in which words are used out of their ordinary meanings to make the poem more impressive, to make the language more impressive. And personification is one of them. And now we'll see what is personification. Giving human characteristic to a non-human object or animal. That is called personifications. That means those feelings we have to personify. The first example, the moon played hide and seek with the clouds. This word we use for human. So that is why it is a use of personification here. See the next example, my laptop hates me. This hates word we used. This is the feeling which is associated with humans only. So again, personification. See the third example. The angry clouds marched across the sky. The angry, this is a feeling again associated with the humans, used for the humans. And march, that means moving forward. So again, these things are personified here. It is a use of personification here. Now this line that is used in the poem, first stanza, last line. And the afternoon and the winter sun turn slow. Turn slow, that doesn't mean that the sun is turning slow. No, it means that in the winter season, at the time of afternoon, in the afternoon, the sun shines very less. So here again it is the use of personification here. I hope I have made it clear to you. Find out some more examples of personification and do the practice. Now we'll meet in the next class with the explanation of the next stanza, and I will tell you how to find out the rhyming scheme in a poem. Till then, take care. Happy learning.